Today's video, I'm going to help you figure out how much money you need to start investing in the stock market. You can literally start with $1 like I show in this video, or you can carve out a lot more if you've got the budget for it. Today's video, I will give you 3 strategies to help you come up with an actual dollar amount that works for you. I won't get into figuring out if you're actually ready to start investing because I do cover that in this video, so take a look if that's something that you think you need some help with. If you are ready to start investing, I've got 3 strategies for you to consider. First is goals-based investing. With this method, you'll first consider your goals, and you could think of things like retirement, buying a home, a car, college education for your children, anything that comes to mind. Then you can work your way into these and use financial calculators to see how much you'll need to set aside in order to accomplish each goal by the time frame that you want to reach it in. After reviewing this information, you can see how realistic it is for you to actually achieve these numbers based on what you find, and you can make adjustments accordingly. I'm going to share my screen with you in just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. A second way to do this is to invest the money that you have left over at the end of the month after you've taken care of all of your bills and expenses. This is a simple way to invest because it doesn't take much thought. You just look what's left over and you invest that. The benefit is it's super easy, but the major problem, as you can probably guess, is you might spend all of your money and not invest anything. So you really have to be the type of person that consistently has extra money at the end of the month and know that that's not money that you need or want for a long time, and you're just ready to tuck that aside and start investing that. If you're that type of person that already has a surplus at the end of every single month consistently and that's just sitting there, then this could be a good strategy for you because you can just make it easy and invest the money that you have left over. A third way to approach this is to use a set percentage every single paycheck and invest that. This method allows you to stay really consistent with it when it comes to investing. It allows you to invest more when you're making more and less when you're making less without having to be pinched if you did set a dollar amount to it. If you were to decide to invest $200 a month every single month, but then you start having some months where your income is less than it normally is, either your hours are cut or things change for you, then that $200 might become somewhat of a pinch. But if you decide to invest 10%, then you're gonna invest 10% regardless of what you're making. And if you have months where you're making less, that 10% is a smaller dollar amount, so it becomes a lot easier to stick to this type of investment strategy for the long run. This method is also really great because it goes right along with the idea of paying yourself first. I'm sure you've heard this before, and it is the idea that gets you in the habit of paying yourself first. Every time you get a paycheck, you tuck away some money for yourself and for your future instead of just paying all your bills right away and then leaving yourself with what's left over like you would do in step number 2. This becomes that really, really good, healthy financial habit of getting to the point where you put money aside for yourself and then take care of your bills. Of course, if you're really tight financially, it is difficult to do this, but if you just use a smaller percentage, it becomes more realistic. If you can't do 10%, do 5% or 3%. Do something, and it will at least allow you to get into that habit and that mentality of, I am gonna set some of this money aside for my future because I deserve it. I work really hard for my money and I don't want it to just all fall through the cracks, not knowing where it's going. And this is a great approach whether you're making a steady income or if your income fluctuates a lot. I did this when I was bartending and I would just make tips for my income. So every day, whether I made $100 or $30, I would set aside $10 or $3 in that situation. So it allows for a lot of flexibility. You just work with what you have and get into that really good habit of paying yourself first. The best approach I found is using a combination of the first method and the third method that we just discussed. It's great to know what you're even saving up and investing for, so knowing what those those goals are, and then taking a set percentage that you can carve out of your income and setting that and dedicating it towards those goals. This allows you to stick with that investment process regardless of what the market's doing, unless it starts to impact those goals. Now, I'm gonna take you with me so you can see exactly the process that I go through. All right, I like this retirement planning calculator from Bankrate, and I'll link it below. It's not pretty at all, but the information is good. So you just come here and enter your information. So I'm going to enter some general numbers here. Let's say you're 30 years old and you have a goal of retiring when you're, let's say 50, okay? And you're making $50,000 and you're saving, let's say 10%, and you currently have, let's say $5,000. Your expected income to increase 2%. Income required at retirement. That means, like, let's say you're making 50,000, then at retirement you're gonna make 90%. So 10% less than you're currently making if you make $50,000. And sometimes people assume that they're gonna spend a little bit less because, you know, they don't need nice clothes to go to work every day. Maybe their income or their expenses decrease. Maybe their house is paid off, that sort of thing. Or you can say 100%, meaning you spend exactly what you're spending now. But we'll just go with this. Years of retirement income. So if you're 50 and let's say you will live to be 80, we'll say 85, 35 years, that you'll need money for retirement. Then you click calculate, and this says your retirement savings runs out at age 53. So this is why I really like this calculator, and what I'm talking about when I say look at the numbers and then reassess how realistic it is, because obviously this doesn't work. You don't want to run out of money at 53. So what it does is you click view report, and it gives you some options. To help meet your goal, you may wish to do one of the following. You can increase your contributions, so save more. You can increase your rate of return. Not really, that's kind of out of our control. You can, well, somewhat, but for the most part, you can't really expect to get much more than like 7 or 8% in the market. You could reduce your required income in retirement, okay, and you can delay retirement until 85. So none of those are really great options. So what you want to do is go back. Oops. What you want to do is just go through this again, okay? And now you're going to say, all right, well, maybe I can't retire at 50 because I'm only making $50,000 a year and saving 10%. That's not realistic. And I do really encourage you to work on increasing your income. But if this is the case, then let's say you have to work till you're 70, and instead of saving 10%, you now save 20%, okay? And you can kind of see your retirement savings runs out at 100. So that's nice. So now maybe adjust this, like, okay, let's say save 15%. Your retirement savings runs out at age 91. We're getting closer here, right? So in this case, you would have to work till you're 70 if you save 15%. If you wanted to retire earlier than that, if that was a goal of yours, then let's see, 65, your money runs out at 80. So maybe you save, let's see, 16%, 82, let's say 17%, 83, let's say 19%. Okay, that gets us to 85. You might want to give yourself a little bit more leeway here, but you get what I'm getting at with this. This really gives you a good way to say, okay, I need to start setting aside this amount if I want to actually retire at this age. If not, I need to either increase my income so that I can save more, or retire later, or any combination of these things to get you to your goal. But using this calculator at least gets you thinking about this thing. And if you are 30 years old, you've got some time, but the sooner you start thinking and planning about this, the more likely you are to have some success with it. Now, if you need help creating a portfolio once you've gone through this and figured out how much you're ready to invest, take a look at this video because I do walk you through that process. And remember, the key to investing success is consistency over a long period of time in a strategy that lines up with your goals. Finding a balanced approach that allows you to both enjoy your life now while planning for the future is really what's going to help you stay consistent and also have that satisfaction of, we do only live once, so let's enjoy it now. But we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for a stress-free future or a low-stress future because we're dedicating some of our income to that future time frame and the unknowns that lie ahead. We're just making our life easier in the future by dedicating some time to taking care of this now. Let me know if you found this video helpful by giving it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing if you're new here and want to continue to level up financially. I really want to be your go-to resource in accomplishing that. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.